Hello everybody, or what's up everybody. Today we're going to be talking about determination and will. I've talked about will before, but I wanted to just talk about this because I've been thinking about my own life as well, and I think the number one thing and key for achieving everything I've achieved is determination and will. And just like I wouldn't be in the position I am now if I didn't just have sheer determination, will, and perseverance and consistency. Because that's all that really matters is, are you willing to keep going? Because a lot of people, the thing they always do is they give up really quickly. They like do things for a couple of months, whether it's the gym or building something for a large goal. Most people can't handle being under pressure for like 2 years and having to struggle for 2 years to build something big. Most people can't handle that because it's so hard to actually build something great. So most people are just not built for it, or I wouldn't say I'm even built any different than other people, to be honest. I think I do think people might have natural tendencies to have more willpower or things like that, but like if you consider my starting point, you could say like I remember times when I didn't have any willpower and I didn't have any determination. For example, when I was trying to lose weight, I didn't have any determination or willpower when I was at the start. Like I was a pretty lazy person, and my diet wasn't on point, my exercise wasn't on point. You know, you haven't built those habits yet to be like doing, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes of cardio uphill on a cardio, walking treadmill. You don't have that discipline, or going to the gym 6 times a week or 7 times a week. You don't have that discipline when you're just starting out. You're gonna have to go at it slower. You don't have that like mentality you have when you've achieved those gains and you see more gains and you wanna have new goals and you wanna achieve more stuff and you've built those good habits and you wanna keep that shape going. You wanna get those results. It's easier when you already kind of have done a lot, but you have to kind of build up to it slowly. And reality is determination, perseverance. That's even when I started out, like perseverance and determination is the number one key to doing anything. Like just slowly getting better over time, whether it's building a skill or anything. Any skill I have, any goal I've achieved, it's because I've persevered over time and just kind of gone through trial and error and just failed and stagnated and then kept going regardless of stagnation. And then eventually you start kind of going up again. That's pretty much every goal I've ever achieved. So the reason why I believe sometimes even you might say delusionally in being able to achieve something is because I've been through that delusional stage before, where you might call somebody delusional for believing in themselves so much, but when you've achieved something before and you've been kind of like delusional about something, kind of a goal, and everybody kind of doubts you, but then you achieve that goal and everybody's like, what happened? It's like you believed in yourself and you had that determination and will to keep going instead of listening to any haters and things like that. And I think a lot of people just like don't bother, to be honest, to really think about their future self. Like I wouldn't be able to. Some people say about their future self that you should respect yourself right now and be like you are already the person you are, like in the future now. But I don't think that's really true, because if I look at myself 6 years ago, I wouldn't think I can remember what I thought back then. I didn't respect myself as much. I wasn't as confident, I wasn't as skilled, I just wasn't as good as I am now. If you honestly like tell me to be as confident as I am now back 6 years ago, it would have happened. I had like way worse everything basically. Like just about every area of my life was just worse 6 years ago. So like thinking about like there's no future self to achieve, I saw some videos about that, and I feel like saying there's no future self to achieve, it's kind of like ridiculous as an idea to me, because the reason we develop ourselves is to be that future self, to reach that future self, at least to an extent, partially at least. to a large extent, because once you're at that future self, you're just going to be a better version of yourself. You're going to be more confident, more socially able, more experienced, this and that. You're just going to attract better people into your life. You're just going to have a better life. You're going to have more things. That's the whole point of your future self, and why we do things for our future self. It's not, yes, you can appreciate your moment that you're in now, of course, the present moment, and you should enjoy the journey and the present moment, but it's way, I'm not gonna lie, it's way easier to enjoy the present moment when you're doing good, when you have your, at least partially your physique built, like you've trained for like 2-3 years and you have a good solid physique built. It's way easier to be confident and happy in life. When you have a little bit of money at least made from something in your bank account, it's easier to be happy. You know, when you've cut those bad habits out, it's easier to be happy in life. And it's just like, it's ridiculous to me to say that your future self is already like here, and like you should like now be happy and respect yourself completely and all that. The reason people hate themselves and the reason people want to change is because they're not happy in their current situation. They don't respect themselves, they're not confident, etc. So I feel like the whole idea of future self is kind of ridiculous, that you should be content right now. You can be, but there's a certain point you can reach where you're very content. Like, it doesn't have to be perfection with your future self, like be this, like, I don't know, millionaire, absolutely jacked, like 0.5% physique, etc. Like, you don't need that to be happy. But like, I do think you need a certain baseline of achievement to be like at a certain like happiness level. At least for me, I feel like I'm now at a position where I'm like extremely content with a lot of areas in my life, even though I'm not like, you could say, like extremely successful, like what you would consider in society extremely successful, at least materialistically. But you know, I'm not at that point yet in my life at all. But like, I don't think that really matters to be like happy. But I think there's also a very low point, like where you're very unhappy with every area of your life, and you might be coping that you're happy, but you're not. And another thing is self-respect. It's hard to achieve self-respect and self-love when you don't actually love the way you look, you don't love the way you are doing monetarily, you don't love the way you act socially, you're not confident. It's very hard to have self-love and self-respect and all those things, and confidence in yourself and determination and everything else if you're at that low point, compared to where you're at that like middle point or the high point in your life. It's way easier to be happy, like again, when you have everything you want, than versus not having anything, you know. So I feel like there's a lot of videos, I feel like, in the self-improvement space especially, where it's like people are like too much leaning into the whole like being happy without anything mindset, and I don't think that's true. At least it is partially true. You can be content with certain things. As I just said, you can be content at a certain point in your life, but especially when you're at that low point, it's very hard to be content with life. At least I can remember, speaking from personal experience, is being in that low point, I was not happy with my life. That's why I wanted to change. I dreamed about a future self that I wanted to be, where I would be way happier, and I'm partially at that point already, and I feel way happier now than I was ever at my lowest point. So I feel like this is just the message of this video, is talking about like your future self, determination and perseverance. And I feel like I'm a product of determination and perseverance, honestly, because I wouldn't be at this point if I wasn't determined and persevered and was just consistent with myself. And I feel very happy that I have been consistent, because it's honestly allowed me to get to the position where I am. And it's just very easy to continue when you're already feeling good compared to when you're feeling low. It's just that hard struggle when you're at that low point to get to have the determination and perseverance to kind of think about that future self where you want to be. And at that low point, it's very hard to be kind of present, because you're not happy with the present at all. You might just hate your life, you hate yourself, you hate your physique, you hate your everything. And I know that feeling. And it's very hard to get out of that position because it's hard to have determination and will when you don't really have those habits built up either. And I think that's something that I feel like a lot of people, if they talk about self-improvement and they just have lived a basic life, they don't have that like low, they haven't been ever at like a low point in their life. They don't really understand self-improvement and the core of getting better and wanting to get better if you haven't truly been at like a really low point in your life where you feel like you don't have anything and you want to become better. Like, it's just a completely different experience going from lowest point to the highest point compared to being kind of at the middle where you're kind of content, you have enough, you could just live a basic life, you're fairly happy with everything. It's easier to start from that middle point and then go towards the higher point than it is to start from the low point and go to the high point in your life. So I feel like a lot of people have different mindsets when it comes to self-improvement because they don't have the same experiences with life. So like, you have people starting from different starting points, so they have different mindsets regarding self-improvement and the way you think about your future self or being happy in the present moment. I do think that you should be happy in the present moment, but that happiness can be hard to achieve in the present moment if you're truly not happy with any area of your life. And I remember myself 6 years ago, there was moments when I was really happy in the present moment and I enjoyed myself and I had my moments for sure, but there was a lot of also like not just enjoying life because I wasn't even at that middle point where I wanted to be partially successful towards at least what I want to achieve. Then I feel like it really takes away from your life. At least for me, that is how it is in my mind. I don't know, it might be different for somebody else. Somebody might be at a low point and be fine with it, but I don't think truly many people are happy at a low point in their life. Most people would like to be better, but it's hard to have the determination, perseverance to actually push through and become better. So that's just something I wanted to talk about in this video, is your future self and kind of accepting yourself. I don't think you need to accept yourself in the current present moment, especially if you're at the lower point of your life at least, because it doesn't really make sense to be happy if you really want to change yourself and you know you're not actually happy in your current position. So you should just grind till you get to where you want to be and determine, persevere, because at the end of the day, at least in my experience, that does certainly make you happier in life, is when you start getting out of that low point and you get to at least the middle ground between like high and low points of your life. At least then you can kind of enjoy life better. And I feel like that's truly something a lot of people are missing, is determination, perseverance, just to get to that point. And I would recommend, it is hard to have determination, perseverance, but just think about that future self, and consistency is all that really matters, whether it's in weight loss, building skills, going through failures. It's just determination, perseverance at the end of the day, for the most part. You can fail, but you can also succeed very well if you actually try and build skills, spend a lot of time doing something. That's my life in a nutshell, pretty much. Spend a lot of time doing something and becoming better at it. But remember to have determination and will, and you can succeed in many areas of your life and become better. You don't have to inherently be content with the right now, but you could be way more content in the right now in the future when you're actually better. But remember to have a balance. I think that's just my thoughts for the day on this topic specifically that have popped up in my mind from different things. Thank you for watching. If there's a will, there's a way.